The desert dusk spread across the plains like a wounded ember, fading slow and bruised behind the distant mesas. As the wind dragged long trails of red dust through the quiet, dying grass of the frontier, coyotes yipped far off, somewhere near the rim of the dry riverbed, and the wooden boards of the old ranch house creaked, like an elder whispering secrets. To the dark, inside that humble shelter half home, half memory stood a woman carved by resilience and fire, Nalina, the Apache woman whose spirit had endured raids, storms, and every cruelty the West could hurl at her. Her black hair fell like a storm cloud over her shoulders, and her eyes, sharp as obsidian, shimmered with the painful resolve of someone preparing to sever the final thread tying her to a life she could no longer bear. And across from her, hands trembling like a repentant sinner, and a heart confused by the boundaries between love, loyalty. "This is my last night with you. I'm leaving," Nalina said softly, but her words cut like a knife forged from truth, slicing the stale air between them. The kerosene lamp flickered, throwing weak gold across her face, turning her into a painting of sorrow and resolve. Colt's breath faltered. He stepped forward, boots scraping the worn wooden floor, each sound echoing like the ticking of a countdown. "No, Nalina, please," he whispered, his voice cracking with desperation. He could no longer hide behind the rough hide of a cowboy's pride. "Don't do this. Not after everything we've been through." But Nalina shook her head slowly. "Colt, every sunrise I spend here costs me a piece of my soul. Your people look at me like I'm the dirt under their boots. And your sheriff." She paused, jaw tightening as memory flashed her being dragged into the street, yelled at for crossing a boundary invisible yet violently guarded. He said if he saw me in town again, he'd finish what he started. Colt's face flushed with shame and rage. He remembered that day too well, the way he'd reached her moments too late, the way he'd buried his fists into the sheriff's face until others pulled him off, the way everything in this western land seemed to be governed by men with guns, laws that changed depending on who held the pen, and prejudices older than their grandfathers. "I'll protect you," Colt insisted, grabbing her hands like he was clinging to the last ledge before falling. "I'll take you away from here. We'll ride North Montana, Wyoming, anywhere. We'll start over." Nalina looked down at their joined hands, then gently pulled hers away as if extracting herself from a trap. "If you wanted to leave, we would have left before the sheriff laid a hand on me, before the townsfolk spat at me, before your own mother told you she'd rather see you dead than see you with me." Colt felt that familiar, suffocating guilt wrap around his chest. He had fought, yes, but not hard enough. He had defended her, yes, but not soon enough. He had loved her, but not bravely enough for the world to see it without shame. "Nalina, I was trying to fix things first," he whispered. "Land means more to you than my life." The silence that followed was heavy, thick as the summer heat before a monsoon. Outside, thunder rumbled faintly, too distant to promise rain, too close to ignore. Nalina turned to the little satchel resting near the door, the only bag she was taking with her. Colt stared at it with a dread that crawled up his spine. "I'm leaving before dawn," she said. "My people are moving toward the southern hills. They've agreed to take me with them. It is a life I know, a life where I don't have to apologize for existing. And what about me?" Colt's voice broke completely now, the cowboy veneer stripped away. It was the voice of a man who loved once in a lifetime, who knew he'd never love like this again. She hesitated long enough that Colt's heart briefly believed she might change her mind, then said quietly, "You'll remember me. That's enough." "No," Colt rasped, stepping closer, hands half raised like he was afraid touching her might shatter her into dust. "It ain't enough. I can't lose you." "I won't, Colt. I'll ride with you," he said suddenly. The words burst out like an instinctive cry. Her eyes widened with both shock and fear. "You don't know what you're saying." "I do. My people won't accept you. Not after what happened with your cavalry." "Your people don't scare me," he interrupted. "Losing you scares me more." Nalina swallowed hard, eyes glistening. "Colt, the world won't let a man like you walk with a woman like me. You'll be hunted, hated." Colt stepped closer until their foreheads touched, breath mingling like two winds meeting at the canyon's edge. "Then let him hate me," he whispered. "But don't walk away without letting me try." Her heart slammed against her ribs, torn between longing and fear. She had dreamed of this, of Colt choosing love over land, prejudice, and the laws of men. But dreams were fragile things in the wild West, and men who chose love over everything rarely lived long. Colt, she breathed, voice trembling. I can't ask you to throw your whole life away. You ain't a skin. I'm tellin' you what I want. She closed her eyes. A tear slid down her cheek. For the first time all night, she leaned into him, letting him hold her as though the world outside no longer existed. The storm rolled closer. The lamp flickered. The night wrapped around them like a farewell song. After a long silence, she whispered, if you ride with me, there's no turning back. Colt didn't hesitate. Then saddle the horses. The moment hung suspended in the air, hope and danger intertwined. She opened her eyes, searching his face for any sign of uncertainty. There was none, just a man ready to challenge a world built to keep them apart. But before she could answer, hoofbeats thundered outside. Many of them, too many. Colt and Nelina snapped their heads toward the window. The orange glow of torches flickering across the dark plains. Voices shouted. Guns cocked. The sheriff's voice boomed. McGavin, send the Apache woman out now. Colt froze. So did Nelina. The last night wasn't over. But dawn one way or another was coming. And it would spill blood before it brought light. To everyone listening, loyalty, heartbreak, and courage. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the continuation. Your support helps keep these stories alive.